Thank you for subscribing to our channel. Today is Tuesday, March 9, 2021. CNN report. Biden's signature won't appear on third stimulus check, White House says. President Joe Biden's signature will not appear on the stimulus checks expected to be sent to Americans once the COVID stimulus plan is passed. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said Tuesday, physical stimulus checks sent to American households last year included a note on the bottom left with then-President Donald Trump's name. Individuals receiving electronic stimulus payments also received a letter signed by the president.
Deutsche Welle report. Harry and Meghan. The Queen takes racism very seriously. After reports of racism among the UK royals, Buckingham Palace announced on Tuesday that officials would take the issue raised by the Duke and Duchess of Sussex very seriously and address the matter privately. The announcement follows an explosive interview that Prince Harry and his wife, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, gave to the U.S. celebrity host Oprah Winfrey on Sunday. In a statement issued on behalf of the Queen, the palace announced that the royal family was saddened to learn the full extent of how challenging the last few years have been for Harry and Meghan.
Al Jazeera report. Ivory Coast. Ouattara's party wins majority in parliament vote. Ivory Coast President Alassane Ouattara's party has won a majority in last weekend's legislative elections. Official results showed. Ouattara's RHDP won 137 of 254 contested seats compared with 91 for opposition parties in Saturday's polls, according to results published on Tuesday by the country's electoral commission. The vote passed off peacefully and for the first time in 10 years. It included all of the country's main political players, providing hope that Ivory Coast has begun to emerge from recent turbulence.
BBC report. French nuclear tests contaminated 110,000 in Pacific, says study. Researchers used declassified French military documents, calculations and testimonies to reconstruct the impact of a number of the tests. They estimated that around 110,000 people in French Polynesia were affected by the radioactive fallout. The number represented almost the entire population at the time, the researchers found. French Polynesia, a French territory made up of hundreds of islands and atolls including Tahiti, was the site of dozens of nuclear tests over 30 years.
BBC report. Kylie Moore-Gilbert. Iran tried to recruit freed British-Australian academic as spy. Kylie Moore-Gilbert was also kept in solitary confinement for 7 months, a form of psychological torture she says drove her to consider suicide. She was arrested in Iran in September 2018 and sentenced to 10 years in prison. I knew that the reason that they didn't engage in any meaningful negotiations with the Australians for my release was because they wanted to recruit me. They wanted me to work for them as a spy, she told Sky News Australia.
BBC report. Paris teenagers arrested after body of girl, 14, found insane. The girl was found on Monday at about 20:30 local time 19:30 GMT, and the arrests were made in the Argenteuil suburb about 5 hours later. The mother of the girl, who has not been named, told French media on Tuesday that her daughter had frequently been a victim of bullying. The teenagers were arrested after one of their mothers called the police. The 15-year-old boy came home on Monday afternoon with his girlfriend, also 15, and told his mother that he had hit a girl and she had fallen into the Seine, local prosecutors said.
Deutsche Welle report. UN slams Philippine police for killing 9 activists. On Tuesday, the United Nations slammed Philippine security forces after the deaths of 9 activists and urged an end to inflammatory rhetoric from President Rodrigo Duterte. We are deeply worried that these latest killings indicate an escalation of violence, intimidation and harassment, UN human rights spokeswoman Ravina Shamdasani said. The government claims that the killings were lawful and took place during multiple raids on suspected insurgents on Sunday.
CNN report. Equatorial Guinea explosion witness says dynamite blast devastation akin to aftermath of an atomic bomb. A woman who witnessed the aftermath of the explosions that rocked Equatorial Guinea has said the scenes resembled the detonation of an atomic bomb. Nearly 100 people have been confirmed dead after the blasts at a military base in the Central African country over the weekend, the country's health ministry said Tuesday. The blasts in the port city of Bata on Sunday killed 98 people and injured another 615, according to the government's latest count.
CNN report. We have to close the digital divide. That means internet access for everyone. Derek Johnson is president and CEO of the NAACP. Jeffrey Starks is a commissioner of the Federal Communications Commission. The opinions expressed in this commentary are their own. Full participation in 21st century society requires everyone to have a reliable broadband connection to access work, healthcare, education, and government resources. Many Americans, including millions who have lost their jobs during the pandemic, have yet to adopt broadband because they are simply unable to afford it.
CNN report. Myanmar protesters trapped in late-night standoff as military tries to silence independent media. A post-coup crackdown by Myanmar's military appeared to intensify Monday as security forces revoked the licenses of 5 independent media companies before a late-night standoff that saw hundreds of young protesters trapped in Yangon. Military junta forces had cornered hundreds of people in Sanchang Township, in the country's biggest city, and threatened to go door to door to hunt them down, Reuters reported.
Fox report. Cotton, Harrell to introduce cop killer bills making it a federal crime to kill any law enforcement officer. GOP Rep. Yvette Harrell of New Mexico is expected to introduce a bill Tuesday that would make it a federal crime for someone to murder a federal, state or local law enforcement officer, and call for any person convicted to serve life in prison or receive the death penalty, Fox News has learned. Fellow Republican Sen. Tom Cotton from Arkansas will join Harrell to introduce a companion bill in the Senate, the lawmakers said.
Al Jazeera report. India summons British envoy over criticism of farm laws. India's foreign ministry has summoned the United Kingdom's High Commissioner over what it called unwarranted and tendentious discussion of Indian agricultural reforms in the British Parliament. 3 new agricultural laws introduced by India late last year have led to months of protests by farmers who say the legislation benefits large private buyers at their expense. A discussion among UK legislators on Monday has caused anger in New Delhi, which accused the parliamentarians of interfering in India's internal affairs.
Al Jazeera report. Boeing orders in the black for the first time in 15 months. Boeing Co. said Tuesday that it received more new orders than cancellations for commercial aeroplanes in February for the first time in 15 months. The company reported 82 new orders and 51 cancellations for a net gain of 31. In addition, Boeing put orders for 16 planes back into its backlog, indicating it is now more confident that those sales will go through. The orders could indicate that airlines are starting to feel more optimistic about a rebound in travel, which has been devastated by the coronavirus pandemic.
Deutsche Welle report. Germany wants a New Deal with U.S. for democracy. Berlin hopes to strike a New Deal with the United States. German Foreign Minister Heiko Maas said on Tuesday, as the two countries look to mend relations after the departure of Donald Trump from the White House. During Trump's tenure, the U.S. pressured Germany over its failure to meet NATO's defense spending obligations, Berlin's insistence on buying Russian natural gas, and the EU's trade policies.
Fox report. Tampa police officer dies after veering into oncoming car to protect others, officials say. A Tampa police officer who investigators believe veered into an oncoming vehicle to protect others before dying Tuesday morning in a wrong-way crash was a strong, courageous father who had wanted to serve in law enforcement since he was 8 years old, his family tells Fox News. Master Patrol Officer Jesse Madsen, a U.S. Marine combat veteran who spent nearly 17 years with the Tampa Police Department, was pronounced dead around 1 a.m.
Thank you for watching 5 p.m. recap. To be notified, you can subscribe our channel and activate the bell.